Hi everybody, I'm Rosemary and welcome to my 12 Styles of Christmas series, where I'll be sharing some fun, unique, and budget-friendly ideas in all the many styles of Christmas. I've already published The Reason for the Season and Modern Farmhouse, and we'll be doing many others in the weeks to come. But in this video, it's time to glam it up with Part 3, Glam Silver. For the first project, I took a white poster board that I purchased from the Dollar Tree, and I just marked the midpoint there at the top and then drew a line with a yardstick to each corner. And then I just went ahead and cut the triangle out. Next I took some twine and I taped it there to the top of the table and then put the point of the triangle right underneath. Then I measured up about 2 inches from the bottom of the triangle and placed a pencil there and then tied the twine, the other end of the twine, to the pencil at that point. Then I just took the pencil and traced along the side, allowing the twine to kind of guide me in that round shape that it'll create now that it's kind of restrained by the twine. And then I just took some scissors and cut out the shape along those lines that I had just drawn. Next, I took some packing tape and I'm going to just fold my triangle around now and just start there at the top where I'm just kind of crunching it around so that I can really try to make this cone shape. And then I'll just take that first piece of packing tape and twist it around there at the top. You want to secure that piece first. And then I'll just continue down that seam with some packing tape. And I want to pretty much cover the entire seam. I'm kind of going in pieces there at the top and then the bottom, and then I go back and fill it all in. Next, I took some of these feather boas from the Dollar Tree. Now these are in the kids section. They're also right now in the Halloween section, so you can find them in both places. And I just kind of folded it in half. And then I'm going to just take some hot glue and go right down that seam. I'll start there. And I'll attach the boa, the kind of spine of that boa there, just trying to getting that middle piece in where all the feathers are attached. And then I'm going to just flip that boa around to the other side, directly across, add some more hot glue, and just secure the feather boa down that other side of the cone. Then I'll take a second feather boa, again, kind of to the midpoint. I'll fold it in half at the midpoint and then just take some more hot glue along where I had attached that first piece. Just add some more glue there, and then again taking that, kind of working with the spine of the boa, just attach the boa, one side of it there next to that first piece that was attached. And then once that is secure, I'll go with the other half of the boa and bring it there right along the side again with some hot glue. Just gluing that down and getting the other half of the boa and securing it into place. And then I'm just going to flip the cone over, again take a third boa and do the attachment with the hot glue exactly the same way, now on the other side of the cone. Now after the 3 boas have been attached, there's going to be a small space on both sides that needs to be filled in. And so I just took a 4th boa, cut it in half, and just added that to both sides with some hot glue again. And here you can see the finished tree dramatically blowing in the wind as I took it outside to take some pictures. I thought it was so funny. I wanted to show you how glamorous and dramatic it looked blowing in the wind. And here it is without all the drama, just so pretty to be on a mantle or a table, giving a great glam look. For the next DIY, I'm going to be using 2 of these Dollar Tree water glasses. They come 5 to a pack. You get those in the party section. And I'm going to just spray those with some white spray paint. And then here is what the cups look like once they've been painted. Then I'm going to take some of these Dollar Tree spoons. You get these also at the party section. And I'm going to just use some wire cutters to remove the tops. And then I'm going to use some hot glue just there at where I cut, and then also in the middle of the spoon stem. And I'm going to hot glue those to the sides of the cup. And I'm only putting the glue in those spots because that's where, with the curve of the spoon, where it touches. And then I'll continue to do that all the way around the cup. I am skipping in this design of this cup. It has like these little ridges. So I'll glue in a section, then skip a section, then glue in a section and skip a section. Next, I took these absolutely gorgeous ornaments from the Dollar Tree. They come just like this. They're so pretty. And also a couple of Dollar Tree skewers. And I'm going to just remove the tops of the ornaments just by pulling it out. If you have a little trouble with it, a pair of pliers will also help to just pull that out. For the oblong one, I want to retain this little faux metal piece at the top, but I do want to get rid of that loop there, so I just took some wire cutters and cut that off. Now at the bottom of the ornaments, they do have these little mirror squares, and I want to remove like 4 of them there at the bottom. And you can do that kind of either with your nails or tweezers, or kind of using these wire cutters to kind of help me along. But just to remove that little piece because I wanted to leave that space open for when I put the skewer through. And so I'm going to take the skewers and I'm going to cut them to about, I don't know, about 3 or 4 inches. And then just put the 2 pieces together, the 2 ornaments together with the skewer. And so again, just remove that bottom piece, cut a piece of skewer about 3 to 4 inches long, and then just attach all the ornaments with the skewers in that way. Next, I took the little cup with the attached spoons, and that's going to serve as the base for the topiary. But before I attach it, I do want to create these little rhinestone collars, and I'm going to be using this adhesive diamond wrap from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut 3 rows, a strip that has 3 rows wide, and then I'm going to kind of just measure it so that it overlaps, measure it right there on the topiary, just so that I can see where about maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch piece overlaps. And then I want to remove the adhesive strip on that piece just so that I can attach, kind of overlap the 2 and attach that to create this little collar in between the topiaries and just give it a more finished look. And then I just took that smaller piece and did the same thing to the next set of ornaments. Then I just got some E6000 glue and also some hot glue. Now I'm doing the hot glue just so that it gives me that temporary hold. E6000 is what will hold it long term, but just so that it stays in place. And then once the glue was dry, I took another strip of that adhesive wrap, and this time it's about 6 rows wide. I just wanted to be wide enough to cover that gap there between the bottom ornament and the cup. And I again just cut a piece of that backing off about 1/2 inch. Now I am adding some hot glue as well, and I did actually go back for the upper pieces and add some hot glue to better secure that adhesive strip. And then I did go ahead and make another topiary, this time with 2 of the round ornaments at the bottom. And I made it the same way as I made the first, just adding that extra ornament to make it a little taller. And you can see how pretty they are, glimmering and glistening in the light. So pretty on a mantle, sofa table, or coffee table, or anywhere you want to add a little extra Christmas glam. For this next piece, I'll be using a Dollar Tree snowflake ornament, as well as these letters that I picked up at Walmart for $1.47, and 2 of the 5-gallon paint sticks. And to start, I took the 2 paint sticks and I took the tapered edge and the straight edge and kind of put them face to face. And then I took some of my wood glue and I just want to glue the 2 sticks together in that fashion. Now this piece is inspired by a piece I saw in Big Lots, so if you don't feel like making this, definitely check out their version. And then I just took all the pieces except for the snowflake and painted them all with some of this silver metallic finish spray paint. And then here's what the letters look like after they've been painted. And so to those, I want to add some of my adhesive wrap from the Dollar Tree, as well as some of these fabulous rhinestones that I picked up at Walmart. And so to do the letters, what I want to do is just kind of do the cross pieces or the horizontal pieces first. And so I'm going to just be doing single strips of the rhinestones across all of the horizontal parts of the letter. And then for the skinny parts of my letter, I'm going to just be doing again a single strip of the rhinestones. And so any parts that are like on this end where it's kind of a thinner piece of wood, I'll just go ahead and place one strip of the rhinestones in that spot. Then for my thicker parts of the letter, I'm going to be doing 2 strips of rhinestones. And then in between those strips, I'm going to be using some single rows of the adhesive wrap. And then I'll do the E and the L in the same way. For the wider angles on both the E and the L, I did go back with some single rhinestones and just kind of place them and fill in that space a little bit. Before attaching the letters to my paint stick base, I did want to dress them up a little bit. So I took some of these jewel border stickers, and these I also got from the Dollar Tree. They're just so pretty. I'm going to use them somewhere. So I picked those up, and then I'm just going to attach them all the way around, covering that seam of the two paint sticks. And then to attach to the letters, I'm going to use a little wood glue as well as a little hot glue. Now the hot glue again is just going to hold it so that the wood glue can set up. But for the little snowflake, I am only going to be using some hot glue. And then here is the finished project. I'm just loving how this came out. It's just so pretty and elegant and makes such a beautiful statement piece. For my last project, I took 2 of these foam cubes from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut about 1 inch, maybe 3/4 inch off the back of each of the cubes. Then I'm going to take a wood skewer and cut it in half, and I'm going to insert 1/2 of each of those into one of the cubes, and then just kind of push the 2 pieces together so that those skewers hold the 2 pieces somewhat together. And then I'm going to use again this adhesive wrap cut into single strips, and I'm going to place those around the front of my 2 cubes. And this is kind of going to hold them in place a little bit better. And then what I'm going to do is just take some hot glue and make sure that these pieces stay down. And then I'll just do the same all the way around the top and bottom of the cubes. Next, I took some of these silver branches from the Dollar Tree and I cut pieces that I'm going to now use some hot glue to attach them to the front of the foam. And so it creates this great little inlaid look, like an inlaid wood. Not that it looks like wood, but it just has that kind of inlay effect. And so I'm going to just continue to do this, adding some of the hot glue to the back, and then I just place the branches and then kind of just wind them around to where they kind of fill in the space in a very willowy fashion, just kind of adding some glue here and there just in order to hold everything down and in place. And then for that gap in the middle, the branches have one that has a kind of a thick middle piece, and so that's the one I chose to put in the middle to cover that gap. And then again, just kind of cutting little pieces here and there and filling in the design as I go. And I'll continue to do this all the way around the base, in between those 2 strips of the adhesive wrap, creating a beautiful little base for my vignette. Now for the top, I want to create a little snow-covered effect. So I'm going to take some of this faux snow from the Dollar Tree. I'm also going to use some regular school glue and just kind of push that all over the top. Now in the middle there, I just placed another piece of that foam. Now this is from what I had cut off already. I just want to create a little square there that I'm going to attach as well with some more skewers, so that it'll stay in place there. And then I want to cover that with some glue as well. And then just make sure I get the glue all the way around. I want to get it into all those kind of corners there and underneath. Just want to make sure everywhere that I want to have the snow stick, I have some glue there on the surface. And then I just took a few more cuttings of my silver branches, and I wanted to cover the sides of the little platform that I built. And I'm going to just put those pieces all the way around. Next, I cut long pieces of my branches, and I'm going to just go ahead and insert the tallest ones there right behind the platform, and then just kind of taper down in the height as I go along the back of the piece, inserting the silver branches all along the back there. And now that we've made this beautiful stage, we now have something to place our beautiful ballerina ornaments from the Dollar Tree. Look how gorgeous these things are. As soon as I saw them, I knew I had to make something with them. And so I got the one that has her arms raised, and then two of, these are exactly the same, these two. I'm going to just kind of put one with her arm extended to the left and one with her arm extended to the right. So they do have these little ornament hanger loops on them. And so I just went ahead with some wire cutters and removed those very carefully. And then I just used their toe shoes to insert them right into the foam. Now I did add a little hot glue as well before inserting them, but again, I just used the one ballerina. These two on the ends are the same. I just put one in one direction, one in the other. And then here you can see the finished project, again, glimmering and glistening in the light. It's so pretty. I just love these little ballerinas and knew I had to just create a beautiful little stage for them. And it makes such an elegant vignette. And it can also be a great gift for someone, especially if they love dance or the ballet or just things that are pretty, elegant, and feminine. Well, I hope you have enjoyed part 3 of this 12 Styles of Christmas series. Please leave me a comment and let me know which one was your favorite. And if you enjoyed the video, please remember to give a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see some more great DIYs, check out one of these videos here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.